Okay, so I got a question from Soren. Now, this looks to be a part two. Now, a couple months ago, Soren wrote into me regarding a situation that he found himself in where he got blocked by a ex-girlfriend. And this is an updated email, so let's address it. So he writes in and he says, "Hey, Sparta, you sexy bastard. My ex reached out to me at the end of July, 12 weeks of no contact, and she unblocked me on everything. Great. Seems like you took my advice, didn't try to pursue her, laid back a little bit, more calm, gave her space, emotions started to come back a little bit, and she ends up reaching out to you. So what happens is you get blocked, you don't do anything, you don't make a fake Instagram, you don't try to pursue her, you don't try to get her to unblock you. What ends up happening is she takes her time, she unblocks you, and then eventually she reaches out to you. So good for you. I mean, it took some time, took about 3-4 months, but still, hey, she got in touch. Great. So she says she's forgiven me for all the stuff I did, which is something that she's mentioned multiple times since we broke up. Although she was more willing to discuss her own mistakes this time, although it wasn't fully convincing. Okay, bro, here's the deal. When she reaches out to you, when she texts you or calls you, you shouldn't be talking about the relationship. You simply shouldn't be doing that because there's only going to be negativity with it. So you shouldn't bring it up unless she brings it up to you. Now, second off, when she reaches out to you, the first thing you have to do is assume she wants to see you and make a date. You're not doing that. You're chit-chatting. You're doing nonsense chit-chat about your relationship. That's not going to help you meet up with her, right? When she reaches out to you, what you want to do is associate yourself as a fun person to hang out with. Hang out, have fun, and obviously hook up. Do the indoor Olympics with her. That's not what you're doing with her. You are just hanging out, or you're not even hanging out, you're just on the phone, chit-chatting away. Horrible. You gotta get off the fucking phone. It is meant for her to come over to you. It's meant for setting a fucking date. You're not doing that. This is not good. So I mentioned briefly about my goals and that I've reached some of them with some self-help, and she responded positively. Okay, great that you have achieved your goals and shit. That's fantastic. But again, get off the fucking phone. You have that discussion when you're with her, not over the phone, not when you're not on a date with her. She needs to come over to you. You need to be in an intimate setting when you're talking about this shit. This is just going to push her away. Plain and simple. Anyway, let's see. She knows that I also have a six-pack now, which is something she's obsessed with. Great. I mean, again, I'm happy that you have a six-pack. That's fantastic. I mean, it's like 2% of the population might have one. You know, you're putting in the time to work out every day and you're putting in the time to eat right. That's fantastic. You're bettering yourself. But again, what it seems like is you're trying to prove to yourself all these things that you've done since the breakup and chat, tell her about all these positive things. Oh, I'm a better man now. I'm all this shit. You're trying to reach her on the pedestal, right? You're trying to impress her. You shouldn't be fucking doing that. Let her find out on her own. It's better that way when she finds out things out on her own. This is why being mysterious is great. This is why she reached out to you. She didn't know what was going on with you, right? So that's because you were totally mysterious. You weren't reaching out to her. Now, when she gets in touch, you're telling her everything. It's not good. Again, you're doing it while she's not with you. You need to be with her. Need to be there person to person. Have a conversation with her in a private fucking setting. That's when you allow her to ask these questions, okay? Not on the fucking phone, man. It's not going to help you. This is just giving her all the validation she needs. She's kind of scratching the itch and retaking the drug quickly to get a little burst that she didn't have before. Now she's getting it, and she doesn't know how to sleep with you, right? That's not what you want. So you're making a mistake here. I suggested that we need to catch up in person. Perfect. That's what you should have done earlier. But she expressed anxiety about the idea, especially since she recently felt overwhelmed driving close to my area. During our conversation, she repeatedly asked if I had a girlfriend, and when I kept dodging the question. She kept saying she knew I had a girlfriend, and eventually I just told her I didn't. Okay, so if she asks you if you have a girlfriend, you should just be a little playful and indifferent with it. How I would have responded, how I would have suggested responding is, I always have room for one more. always have room for one more. So what that tells her is, you're open to dating, but maybe there's some girl in your life, maybe there's not. It gets her to be a little more curious. And it's fun, and it's playful, and it's totally fucking indifferent. So again, you telling her no, again, you shouldn't have been on the phone, because now she's getting she's getting all the info that she didn't have from you before, all the mystery. You're washing it away, right? You're washing it away. This is why you cannot be on the fucking phone. You can't be on it. She offered to continue our conversation tomorrow, and I agreed after she told me she was planning to get high alone. When she gets high alone, she usually does this when she's sad or depressed. We did talk for an hour. I know I fucked up. You did fuck up, and I'm glad you know that. And I get it. You miss her, you like her and everything, and you're talking to her. It just feels right. It feels good. The connection's still there. But you got to get her in person, man. You got to get her in person. You don't want to do this because then you're scratching the itch, man. You're scratching the itch. She gets everything she needs, and then she doesn't want to talk to you, right? It doesn't work out, okay? So you really want to avoid her. And again, it's different if you might see her in person. She talks to you a little bit, and you have a good bond, and she's pursuing you in person. That's great. But on the phone, no. The next evening, when she hadn't reached out by 6 p.m., I texted her to be ready at 7 p.m. for me to pick her up for drinks. Okay, so it doesn't sound like you even have a fucking date with her. It just sounds like you're assuming that she wants to hang out with you. No, you need to schedule a formal date. You just don't text a girl saying, yeah, let me pick you up at 7 p.m. I'm going to pick you up. We're going to grab some drinks, blah, blah, blah. That's not how you do it. No. No, and she should also be coming over to you. She should be coming over to you. You shouldn't be... I understand what your thought process here. It's like, I'm going to take control of the situation. I'm going to take her out on a date. I'm going to take lead. We're going to go at a specific time. She's going to see that. She's going to like it. It's not how it goes, man. You got to set a date. And in your situation, she broke up the relationship, so she's got to come to you. Okay, so she immediately called me to say she had plans and couldn't meet. She explained that meeting again would just lead for us to go into a cycle of toxicity and that nothing would change. She was curious why I was so insistent on meeting, to which I explained it was simply to catch up and spend some quality time together. Well, I wouldn't have said it like that. I would have just invited her to come over, right? And if she said no, I would, which it sounds like she did, or she had plans, I just said, well, when you figure out your schedule, get in touch with me. Would love to see you. That's it. And you invite her to come over, and obviously you want to be with an intimate setting because you want to hang out with her, you want to have fun, and you want to hook up. Plain and simple. So I don't hate get some quality time together, but it's almost the way you're phrasing it, catch up and spend some quality time together, almost seems like you're trying to force a relationship with her. And she can sense, girls know when you're interested. You don't want to portray that interest. In fact, what you should have been doing was dating other girls and been kind of like challenging, right? You want to come from more of a challenge base versus so eager to go meet her out for drinks, right? So she offered to talk over the phone later, but I told her I only want to meet in person to properly address our issues. She declined, and I respected her decision, telling her to let me know if anything changes. Good. That's what you should have done. You don't decline. Here is what you did right? You did this right. Declining to talk over the phone, you want to talk in person, perfect. You're stating what you want as a man. You want to see her in person. That's the only way that you're going to talk with her, right? Now, the other thing, the one mistake is, I don't want you guys, I feel like you're using these issues to talk about the relationship as an excuse to try to hang out with her. That's not what it should be. Just be straight up and just say, hey, I'd love to see you come over. I would love to hang out with you. Get in touch with me. I'd love to see you. Let's get a drink, right? So something like that. Not discussing the issues because, again, like I said earlier, talking about the previous issues is going to associate negative emotions. You want her to kind of forget about that. You want to have fun. Fun is the focus. That's what girls want. They don't want to fucking be stressed out because, look, she already has anxiety. She's smoking and all this shit because you're the one you're causing stress. Girls want to relax. They don't want to fucking think. So the whole mood of our interaction is chill, respectful, which is something that wasn't typically the case before. Good. I mean, that's what masculinity is. It's calm, it's cool, it's collected. And, you're letting her walk away. You're letting her do her thing. That's great, right? You're letting her do her thing. Love, and that's what true love is. Letting the girl walk away. Letting her be free to do whatever the hell she fucking wants, right? She wants to go, go. If she wants to be back, sure, right? If I'm single, sure, come through, right? So that's what you're doing. You're not chasing her, and this is what you're doing. This is the right course of action. After 4 days without a response, I sent a final text expressing my desire to fix things between us. Bro, no. Dude, you shouldn't have been texting her. This is a fuck up, because you did things perfectly, but then illusion of action hits, you get a little nervous, I haven't heard from her, maybe I should reach out, I think maybe I pushed her away from ever. You shouldn't do that. Just let her come back to you when she fucking comes back to you, right? Emphasizing that I know that I'm not the only one who felt this way. I suggested meeting the next day. She responded firmly, stating she didn't want to fix things, she had moved on, and only called to communicate her forgiveness. She didn't want to fall back into our old cycles. I replied that I respected her boundaries and wouldn't reach out again, as I didn't want to bother her. See, bro, if you didn't... The mistake you made, and maybe she was simply calling for the forgiveness or whatever, but what you should have assumed when she called was that she wanted to hang out and come over. And if you just had her come over, or you just made a date to hang out and just have a good time, get a couple drinks, whatever, it wouldn't have gone down this route. You probably would have hooked up with her, but you stayed on the phone, you chatted up with her for a fucking hour, and you gave her everything you fucking needed, everything she was curious about. What's he up to? Is he dating anyone new? You killed all curiosity, you killed all mystery, and then she got everything she needed, and she's like, well, I don't need to go hang out with him now. I know everything about him, right? I know how his feelings are. I know he's still chasing me. He's still being a weak pussy, and I got all the validation I need. I'm going to move forward, right? She got everything she needed, so she doesn't feel the obligation to meet up with you, right? Because you're chasing her. You're chasing her. You're chasing. Girls need to do the chasing. They need to chase you. That's the only way that you're going to find that she's going to want to get back with you, is if she's the one chasing you, right? Because her attraction died off and it finally came back. You did everything right, and then you kind of handled it poorly. Let's see. I was thinking she was scared, so that's why I contacted her twice after she broke no contact. Do you think she'll reach out again? It took her 12 weeks to break no contact. Is it going to be longer? Yeah, she'll probably get in touch again, but it's just going to take some fucking time. It's going to take longer than 12 weeks this time. It might be a year. It might be 2 years. You might not hear from her again, but because you kind of fucked this up. She finally reached out to you, and you just didn't handle it the right way. You just needed to ask her out right when she called. Hey, great to hear from you. What are you up to? Let's get a drink. Let's hang out. Let's grab a glass of wine. Not fucking chit-chat on the phone for a fucking hour. That was the mistake. And then after you started texting her, blowing her phone up, trying to hang out with her, you just didn't wait. You were impatient. It's like, this is what happens with girls, right? They finally, they dip their toe in the water, right? They go to the beach, they dip the toe in the water, and then a tsunami comes and swarms up. That's what happened with you. What you need to do is be patient, let her come at her own pace, and she's going to get in touch with you again. So now you have to go back and just revamp your personality, right? And she needs to now forget about all that fucking bad shit that you just did. She needs to forget about it, and that's going to fucking take some time, because she got all the fucking validation she needed. And unfucking that up is going to take a fucking long time. It truly is. So now you need to, again, you got to go right back to no contact. You need to start dating other fucking girls, man. And you need to start practicing what's right and what's fucking wrong, right? You need to know this shit, right? And I know it's hard. I know it's hard because you're emotionally connected to her, and the girls that you emotionally like are the ones you naturally fuck up with, right? Because you care more about them and you overthink it. This is why you need to practice with multiple fucking different girls. You need 3, 4, 5 different girls that you're going on dates with, just practicing, seeing what's attractive. Then you'll be a little more cocky, and then you won't be chasing her, right? She'll have to be the one chasing you, and you won't feel obligated to chase her because you're dating 3 fucking cool girls, and they're chasing you. And what ends up happening is you won't fuck up as much because you'll think of her less, right? And when she does get in touch with you, you're like, well, it's cool that she reached out. I don't know if I'm sold on her, right? So that's what I would do. But then when she finds out she has you, it's just easy for her. Goes bad. There's just a lot of fuck ups here that you just really need to clean up. You really need to clean up. So it seems like you're kind of just taking bits and pieces and just kind of looking for a quick answer. Dude, you got to realize that getting back with an ex, it is a fucking process. It's not a fucking something that happens overnight. No, this is 3, 4, 5 fucking months of work. And especially in this situation where it seems like this toxic fucking cycle, dude, something like this could take 6 to 12 months, even if you are hanging out with her, right? So, again, what you need to do is not reach out to her, kind of just do what you did previously. I know you reached out and I know you want to fucking see her, but now you got to fucking back off, right? You got to date other girls. You got to practice with other girls. Maybe she'll see that. Maybe she gets jealous. I don't fucking know, man. But shouldn't be the focus. The focus needs to be improving myself again, following my Sparty fortune, knowing what to do if she reaches out. So hopefully this sticks with you. I'm sure you'll have an update at some point, but I mean, will she reach out? I mean, it's going to be a long time before she does. It's not going to happen this month. It's not going to happen next month. It's not going to happen next week. It's not going to happen, might not even happen until 2026. I don't know, man. And hopefully by then, by the time if she were to reach out, you have someone fucking new anyway. I mean, the toxicity of this sometimes is just like I said this in the last video. Sometimes toxic relationships really need a complete break. You need like a year or 2 break in order for everything to be fixed out. And I know you guys had a good conversation and she sees all these changes and everything, right? But the truth is, like, it still needs more of a break because that shit's still on her fucking mind, right? It's still on her mind, and she hasn't totally forgotten about it yet. 3 months, 4 months, not long. It's not long enough, man. It's not long enough because all the negativity is still sitting in her fucking brain. So let her date a couple dudes. You date a couple dudes, or preferably girls, but date a couple girls. Let her date her dudes, and then maybe she finds out that shit, Soren was the one. Maybe he was good for me, right? So don't chase her. Don't fucking do it. Let her walk, and when she's ready to come back, like you saw, she'll get back. But I don't want you making the same mistakes again. Hopefully, this video speaks to you, and hopefully this helps. Peace.